Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the South Bay Syndicate. Today, we're going to be looking at our first deck post the Cad Bane ban, and we're looking at Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was a leader who I think suffered a lot when Cad was dominating the field, and so we're excited to take a look at what it can do now with Cad out of the picture. We're actually looking at yellow here, which is a little outside the normal vigilance piece that you see dominating all over the place. And the reason we picked vigilance is really about Homeworlds. We're very excited with some of the cards we're seeing from Homeworlds that we think will pair really well with Obi-Wan, Soul, Luke Skywalker, and I'm sure there's more Force pieces to come. But Luke, thinking about turn one play, bring him out, attack, get the Force, able to put a token on there. Soul with its shield and Sentinel, a lot of different things you'll be able to do. Also, really huge boost to Neil here as we see more and more cards come out with a set with 1 or 0 power across all colors. So it'll be really interesting to see how that comes into play with different things like Grief and Lando and really any Ahsoka combination with Neil. Very excited about the new set, but we thought with the announcement of some of these new cards like the Luke Skywalker and the Cad Bane, we thought Obi-Wan would be a fun one to try. We are just back from the indie sector where we got to meet a lot of people and had a lot of fun there. If you want to hear more about our journey there, you can check out the Colorado Cantina Crew podcast. We joined them to talk about our shared experiences at Indie. So I'll put a link in the description for that. For now, let's jump into some of these games with CAD where we're going to try and go very fast, build the force, push damage with Maz, Venestra, into our Obi leader with attachments, and then finish off with maybe an Elzar readied unit on 6R. All right, here we go. As we jump into our first game, I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We just hit our 800 subscriber number, one of the big milestones for us. And we're so excited to have you all with us. One of the things we're going to do as part of that new 800 subscriber number is do a nice little giveaway in honor of Cad's ban. We are going to be giving away a mat from the Galactic Championship. The Mandalorian mat has been held prisoner by Cad for most of the set so far. But now that he's back and you can't ping his shield, we are going to be giving away this map from Galactic. So uh, comment with your favorite leader that you're excited to try now that Cad Bane is banned, and we'll do a giveaway in about a week off those comments. We're going to keep this hand. We can start with Youngling Padawan in the Vernestra. We got a couple attachments. We'll put one away. I do like the Yellow Aces Bomber, and the Trust Your Instincts can be really good, but they're not going to have a lot of units to interact with early, so we're going to put that down. We're going to start with our Youngling Padawan and give it a token. And we'll see if they have a crushing blow or something like that to throw us off. Ah, okay. All right. So we will go ahead and I think we attack in. We will. A lot of choices here. I will go ahead and attack in and get the force. They'll trade, I guess. They will not. Okay. We'll bring out our red unit. Better for us. Now they'll probably trade so they get it back when Gideon dies. They choose not to do that either. And we'll go ahead and give that a token. All right. So I was wrong on all the things I thought they might do. I do like the Luke Skywalker here. Since we have the Ascension cable, I think we'll go ahead and put the unsanctioned shuttle down. I think eventually getting Luke on Yellow Bomber could help us push a lot of damage. So we'll go ahead and get our attack in. Sure. All Sentinels all the time on their side, which you expect. I think that is the current meta. And I do think that uh, Krennic is one of those leaders that really benefited from Cad going down. It was already in a good place, and now Cad's gone, and it can really push damage, build its board without that threat. All right, so they're able to no glory to take out our space unit. So we're gonna bring out our leader and Voltron it up and try and push damage that way. No, we actually can develop the board a little bit, so we can throw this on. Um, Actually, the Luke is pretty vulnerable to that, so we're just gonna push damage in and restore and see how much we can push before they are able to deploy. So here we might try and get Luke on the unsanctioned patrol. We have Saboteur already, so we're just kind of pushing damage out. And they're going to be able to deploy here. We'll give them another target and see what they decide to do. Them taking out the Luke would be better for us than them damaging the unsanctioned shuttle. They may also have craving power coming up, so we'll have to play around that a little bit. We'll see if we'll be able to get this last 14 damage. We'll go ahead and claim. They damage Obi, and it does seem like craving power is incoming. We can do 5 damage. I think we'll just push to base and restore to get them close to lethal. If they craving power and decide to take out the shuttle, we can throw down our Captain Typho. It's a wall and kind of force them to attack into it with both of their units or claim. And then we can take it out with the Depa or the Protect the Pod next turn. So we had to kind of sequence in a way to try and protect our units as much as possible. We won't show anything there. Go ahead and claim. They could have another craving power, which would allow their supply carrier to take us out next turn. I think here now we'll play here. And we'll push that 8 damage to base, which will finish them off. So that was, I think, the perfect top deck card for us. And is able to push enough damage to get in front of the Krennic, which I think is a very good deck and is going to be very popular coming up. They had some Sentinels. We were just able to continue to push damage on our end, and the Yellow Aces Bomber came off the top deck at the perfect time. If you ever watch Alex Krez's streams on Blue Milk Gaming, he has a cool graphic that pops up top deck, and that's what I would have done there. We're able to finish them off before they could get a Chimera out or something to flip the board on us. All right, let's jump into our next game with this OB Yellow and see what we can do. Again, this is a deck I think going to be very powerful in future sets, especially with some of the cards we're seeing for Homeworlds. But I thought it'd be fun to try today, and I think others are getting the same idea because here is an OB Temple of Destruction on the other side. Here, we don't really have anything force early on, so we're going to mulligan. I don't know what happened there. We're going to mulligan this and see if we can pick up a different turn 1 into turn 2. We do like this a bit more. So we start with the Yellow Padawan. They might not have an answer in their deck for the Yellow Ace Bomber. Not really sure what they're playing, but I do think the Protect the Pod is going to be important. So we're going to put the Bomber down and see if we can get another one later. We'll start here. So it looks like they maybe are running a space deck, which I guess makes sense as far as how they're going to get the Force up and running. So maybe a mistake on our end to not keep the Bomber. Here comes maybe a Chewbacca. But what we'll do on our end is try and race down this 25-point base with a Youngling Padawan attack into a Venestra attack to get 6 damage up on turn 2. Reminder, if you're just joining us, we are doing an 800 subscriber giveaway. All you have to do is be subscribed to the channel and comment on this video with your favorite leader you're excited to try out with Cad Bane gone. We'll be giving away this Mandalorian Mat from Galactics probably in about a week. So get those comments in. As always, if you can like the video, subscribe to the channel, it helps us out a ton. So appreciate all of you hanging out. They have their Yellow Aces Bomber. We are going to get our Venestra out. We're going to attack in with it. If they're not able to get a pilot on it right away, we will protect the pod to get rid of it. But that's a big if. There's our own bomber. I think the Jin is also valuable here. So we'll go ahead and put the Obi-Wan down. The Jin can just tap down. It seems like we might be racing pretty closely. So this tap down from Jin could sway in our favor. In this case, I guess we can attack in. Actually, if since they didn't put one down, what we're going to do is we're going to attack in on our own, push this 6 more damage there to base. They're going to draw. We're going to push more damage. I meant to. Sorry. We're going to put our token on here. Then we're going to push damage to base to get to 15. And now we're pretty far ahead, I believe. There's a second bomber. which could end the game here. We also have Jin to tap down. So if they do put something out there that's pretty powerful, we'll be able to tap it down with Jin. So I think right here, we will play the bomber right away and push maximum damage. And even with everything on board is lethal on its own, the bomber will help us get ahead a little bit, but probably won't change the math enough. So it's really, we'll still need 3 actions. So we do want to think about how we want to layer in Jin and the protect the pod versus just throwing the bomber out there to rush it. Because that 2 extra damage won't get us closer because it's still going to be 9 with 2 attacks. And let's see what they do. Actually, let me think about that again. So if I yellow aces the yellow ace, it'll do 7 damage. So that is the right play. So if I'm able to pull it off, what I would do first is play the yellow ace to activate the yellow ace to push 7. And then either of these represent lethal. And our opponent is thinking about it. I'm glad they're thinking because it gave me a chance to take a step back. It's always good to double check your math and all of your abilities so you don't miss something and get in a good practice there. They have an aggressive negotiation into base. That will put us pretty close, but I think because of the action economy here, we'll be able to do the double damage to base, putting them within lethal with either unit. And even if they have another aggressive negotiation, they can do 7. So that would be enough. So if they have double aggressive negotiation with Kiadi, that would be enough. So it might have been smart for us to tap the Kiadi down, but also then they can deploy Obi and we'll be in the same situation. So maybe to trade into the Kiadi would have been the right play. And then do the LS aces and tap down with Jin. But it doesn't look like they have a second aggressive negotiation. So if we counted their hand and the damage on board, we probably would have had to do that slightly differently. They don't have it, so we're able to get there. Almost a mistake on our end. So definitely, again, as I had said before, we probably want to do the math. Okay, if they have a second aggressive negotiation, it's lethal with Kiadi. So let's attack in with our Venestra to kill the Kiadi, leaving them with the Phoenix Squadron, which would be 1 short, and then we would still have the Jin to tap down their Obi, and we'd be able to do our Yellow Ice's play. So that's probably the line we should have taken to make sure we got the victory. But they did not have the second aggressive, so we're able to take it down still. And GG's to our opponent there. You can see how the Yellow Aces really came in handy with Obi. All right, let's jump into our next one. We got Hot Shots on Lando Blue. It's a deck I ran into a couple times in Indy. Won one, lost one. The one I lost to ended up in the top 8. Ian, Mr. Lego Pizza, a really great guy, great opponent. We had a good conversation as we were playing, and he was able to run it all the way into top 8. And we'll see how we fare here. We're going to keep this hand. I think I like the Youngling Padawan start again. The Ascension Cable could come in handy because they're going to have different pieces that can mess with what we're doing. So we're going to put the Trust Your Instincts and the Protect the Pod for now because we want to build out the board. They definitely will have things. It's unfortunate. That keeps us for now from being able to. Next turn, I can just swing there. Okay. So we're going to put down Obi. The Huyang just meant if we had put a token on, we would have had a minus situation, which would not have been great. We'll go ahead and claim here. Definitely not ideal how this is going so far, but we're going to see if we can turn it around. We will play out the unsanctioned patrol. We will claim. We'll claim. All right. We claimed. We'll trade in to get the Casca out. We'll put an experience token here. So they have a lot of their sentinels keeping us from any damage up to this point. But now we'll try and pour in some damage and see what we're able to do. We'll go 5 here. We'll go Ascension Cable so we can get the healing next turn off of that. And we'll give an experience token here. All right. I do like these cards. I think the play is going to be the Typho. Maybe not. I think the play will be here, up to 15. And then they have the Chimera. We'll throw this on and heal. The Trust Your Instincts is nice as well. We still have 11 and now 13 damage here. They will be able to get some healing here. There's a Rex. We don't really care about the Rex because what we're going to be able to do is attack into this and push 2, and then this will be lethal unless they kill off, which they do. So we'll go ahead and go here. We'll attack in, and we'll see what happens. Once again, I think we're okay here. We just need to figure out how to get this last damage through, and we're able to get it there. So we're able to keep our units alive. The Ascension Cable really puts a lot of pressure, and I think that is one of the values of switching to yellow in a full blue meta. You can see it here. They had every Sentinel, everything they're looking for, and we're still able to go so fast and push so much damage to put them in a spot where they had to be on the defensive, and that's where you want these decks to be. All right, let's jump into our next game with our Obi Yellow and see if we can keep this momentum going. We run into Ahsoka Yellow, which when I was talking to Ninja Fair on our team about this, he said, isn't Ahsoka Yellow just a better version of Obi Yellow right now before the new Homeworlds cards? And we'll see if that's the case. It definitely is with this starting hand, so we're going to go ahead and mulligan. And you can already see where some of these cards that we're not super excited to see early on get replaced by some of the new Homeworlds cards that we're much more excited to see. Here, we definitely are going to start with Youngling Padawan. We may want to go into Skywalker with Trust Your Instincts. We're definitely going to need Blue Leader as well. So I think what we're going to do, I'm guessing they go space. So we'll get rid of Elzar. We're going to need the Sentinel on the ground as well. Let's give ourselves a chance here. If they play something in space, not that. I was going to say, if they had played something in space that was more troublesome, like the Mandalorian ship, I think we would have claimed. I think here we want this on Obi, especially for flip. So we're going to be playing. Actually, we want more units. Okay. So we'll start. We'll go ahead and ambush here. Just taking one unit off the board is a Sentinel, so we had to attack into it. They're going to tap down, and we'll go ahead and claim. And now they can make theirs a 4/4. We'll go from here. They're going to boost. That's what they were missing there. Yep. We're going to try and get the Trust Your Instincts off our blue leader to wipe out one of their units. We will keep the attachment this time. We'll see what happens here. We actually won't need the Trust Your Instincts if we give it an experience token. But a lot going on early in this matchup. I do like the Typho here, which is why I'm hesitant with the Trust Your Instincts. I also like next turn the Constructed Lightsaber. Okay, so that's actually we're gonna be able to give that out. They're gonna boost. And now we might need to Trust Your Instincts to take it out. No, they just decide to do that. Okay. They could have boosted it, putting us in a weird spot there, but they just went with another space unit. That's okay. And then we'll go with Typho. They're dirtling here, which is, they're going to bounce the Typho. Maybe. Yeah, I imagine they bounced the typho. They do, and we'll go ahead and claim. Okay. All right, so again, we'll hit to base. This time we will use the trust your instincts. We will use it on, I guess, the Death Space Skirmisher if they don't trade out. And then we'll either play the Typho or the Constructed Lightsaber. Okay. They decide this time to trade out. That's okay with us. They get an Akbar out, which is nice. We'll play the Typho here to block the Ahsoka, and then next turn we'll put double constructed out, allowing us to hit for 7 and heal 4. So I think it'll be a nice outcome for us. But it is close. I think that restore will start to become very important. We're putting this out first because this will prevent some damage, getting us a little bit of restore anyway. But maybe they have an answer based on them claiming so quickly they might. We'll keep one, trust your instinct, and we'll go from here. But I think it's very close right now. We can trust your instinct to take out their leader on deploy, and then go one constructed and Gunji, and we'll see if that's the play. I think we will start with our constructed lightsaber. And now we're setting up a situation where we're going to be hitting for a lot of damage and healing 4. The healing 4 is big. It wipes out 2 of their attacks. And I believe we'll be able to put them in lethal, which is the other important part here. Because if they try and sequence out, that gives us another healing, which is great. I know that creates overwhelm for them, which is what they're going for. But they can't attack right away. So we'll restore 4. And then once we attack with our Typho, if they take an action with Ahsoka to attack, it becomes lethal on our side, and they'd have to claim before they can attack with Ahsoka. And that's very beneficial for us. So we end up with a lot of healing and the right Sentinel at the right time, even though they had bounced it. And it looks like we're in a good spot to take this game. And the experience tokens really came in handy, right? To put it just out of range, preventing it's going to end up preventing 1 damage, but it's really going to slow them down. Okay. Let's see. Yep. They're going to attack for 4. We're going to be able to attack for 5. They can't boost Ahsoka back. So we're going to end up taking 6 more damage to base after this. But then we'll be able to swing for lethal with Obi. Okay. They do go ahead and attack. They'll get that 6 overwhelm. We'll claim and be able to finish them off. There we go. All right. Knowing that yellow aces was nice as well if we had needed it. We don't. We'll go ahead and restore and we'll pass. And GG's to our opponent there. So they had everything in space. We had our blue leader, which we were able to create, I think, a couple of removals on their side. Did we get 2? We got maybe 3 units off of them, off our blue leader alone, so I think they could have probably sequenced that a little differently. That really helped us, and then we were able to get our board control on the ground with our sentinel, our experience tokens, and then our constructed lightsabers to create a lot of healing. So we ended up healing 8 from the constructed lightsabers plus 2 from the typho, so 10 total healing. Really nice to be able to push our damage while creating that healing opportunity. And let's jump into our next one with Obi, and we run into the Armorer Yellow, another super interesting deck. We do not have upgrade removal here, so we are going to have to figure out how to control their units. And I think that depending on what they play, I also am noticing we've had the initiative every time, which has been super helpful. But depending on what they play, we might not experience the youngling Padawan. We might need to trust your instincts right away. We might need the lightsaber right away. Really have to think about how we get their early units off the board. We didn't see any of our sentinels yet. Maybe it's worth mulliganing here. I don't know, but we're going to try this one out and see what happens. Okay. I think in this case, we claim, we trust your instincts. We, yeah, I think this is okay. I think we're going to claim, we're going to trust your instincts, clear it off the board. We're going to play Jin. And this is what we were thinking about. We didn't want to give the experience token out because we had to prevent that from getting anywhere. So we'll go ahead and we'll play this out. Give an experience token because they both live through it right now. There's the ascension cable. We're going to hit it. I think what we'll do is we'll hit here. We'll do 2 damage to base just to weaken it up a little bit. We'll see if they get an attack first. They just have a dark saber. That's great for them. So we're gonna have to figure out how to hurt that. That's gonna keep getting bigger. So that is the fear. We are going to try and get our leader pretty big as well to fight back. Um, so we're gonna go ahead and deploy Obi. No, we're gonna get our leader bigger, but we're also gonna give it some restore to try and get our stuff back. They could nimble prowess here, which could be pretty hurtful. So have to watch out for that. They do not. I think we have to just take the restore, take the trade. Yes, they might attack in to Obi here. I think that's just something we have to live with. We had to get some of that restore going. We had to make sure that that could not hurt us. They're going to reforge into a dark saber. Meaning we will need to go here and claim. This is a pretty good draw for us. I think it can set up an opportunity where we can slow them down a little bit. They could have an ascension cable in hand, but at least we have some healing. Maybe it was right to keep the Jin to tap it down. That probably was the right play. Uh, we will. Is this when an attack ends? We're just trying to stop them at this point, right? So we got a little bit of healing. We'll skip that. They die. They don't get to use the. Oh, they do get to use the ability. I did not think they would get to use the ability, but they do. We'll do 2 damage to their base. Go ahead and hit there. We'll keep this. Hopefully they just attack if they. Okay, they do. So we'll go ahead and take that out. And we'll see if we can stabilize. We've gotten through double dark saber, double Han, and now we're just trying to survive. In this case, what they got? We get our damage in. If they have an attachment here, it's going to be pretty tough. We will. I think we have to claim. They might have something they can put on. I'm guessing they will put on their rider. Because putting it on, yeah, the ascension cable is pretty good for them. We will try our best. All right. So we're going to hit defeat that. They have the ascension cable. The Venestra can come out ready. We'll get some healing on it here. And we'll see what else they're able to do. They have the star map. We're going to push our damage, restore, get the force. We'll hit their base. We'll put another one here. And we're getting pretty close. The bomber could help us out for sure. So we'll play the bomber out. We'll push the 8. We'll heal 2. And we'll push the 8 damage. And now they're 1 short. And we're able to finish them off. Another crazy one. We had to. I'm a little surprised we won. Honestly, it was very close, but the Venestra coming in ready with the Sabine's lightsaber was enough to create 4 healing. And luckily for us, they drew the Arcana Star map and not something else. And so we were able to weather this incredible storm of cards for them. We didn't see the improvised identity, which helped, but the Yellow Aces Bomber again created opportunity for us to push damage and ultimately win by 1 health off our healing. GG's again to our opponent. Crazy close game. Let's jump into one more game with the Obi Yellow. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I love to see it. A Baylen Red Force. This is going to be a pretty tough matchup, I'm sure. And these are the types of decks I would expect people to start experimenting with. And we're going to keep this again. I do like the Youngling Padawan start. The double saber is pretty good. So we're going to put these down. We've definitely seen that come in handy for us. With our later game, we'll hope to draw more at the end. So they have a lot of ways of shrinking our units down too. So we got to be careful of that. But we do get to start with the force and buff our unit. And I think here, I do like to see the Obi-Wan, but they're gonna attack. And then on 3, what are they gonna have? Oh, okay. All right. So they buff up their unit. That means we'll play out our Obi-Wan, forcing them to attack into it. That will create an opportunity for them to crash into it next turn. Because they do have the force, so they have a couple of options next turn. We can go on 4 here, probably the Venestra. But let's see. Let's see what they go with. I think I like the Venestra turning on the Sentinel. Uh, or they will do that. So let's see which one. I will put this on here so I can take that out. Yep, take that out. I will take this to base. Obviously, we're pivoting a little bit here. We'll put this on for healing. And we'll go from there. Okay. So it does seem like we will need the ascension cable. So I think either of these with the ascension cable, Baylen comes out on 5 and we can kill it. So we're actually going to go with this. This is also 6 resources. So we will kill the Baylen right away once it comes out. Both of these we're pushing damage to base and we're creating some healing. So another Sentinel could come out on their side and we'll utilize ascension cable on that. Good for them. We'll throw the ascension cable on. which means to trust your instincts. We'll go ahead and finish it off. Yep. So go ahead and finish that so they can't boost it again. We'll take the damage to base. They're probably going to attack into our Obi to start the next turn. We're going to restore. See what we can draw here. The Elzar is pretty nice, depending on how the resourcing goes here. If they don't trade, especially, yeah, they do trade. We're just going to keep putting the pressure on. And we're under resourcing a little bit, but these do represent a problem for our opponent. They can't really survive 2 more attacks here. That is going to be its own problem. We will go ahead and put that there. Just creates more healing. We still have Saboteur. Puts us 1 away. So we'll do that. And restore. And now they have to have an answer right now for Obi or the game's over. We have nothing for them to Chimera. So they can play a Chimera and just it doesn't do anything. We'll see if we're able to close it out against the Baylen here. Sure. There's 2 damage. We're going to go ahead and claim, and that will be GG's to our opponent. I think we were able to just continue to push damage. Kind of a theme throughout the video, right? We're able to press damage, heal damage, and then it's too late. All of these units giving the force early, getting tokens, getting sabers out, just the right combination of pieces to whether they're sentinels and other pieces, and then Obi ultimately as kind of a Voltron leader able to take them out. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed our Obi Yellow look. This is a post-CAD deck. One, again, I think as Homeworlds comes out, it gets even more tools with things like Luke Skywalker and Soul, other things to come. A very exciting way to push damage quickly, heal your base, and really put your opponent on their back foot throughout. So hope everybody enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Have a good one.